This is Noma Dimitri. Autumn is here, and branches and trees everywhere, like this one, are beginning to slowly turn yellow, and then sometimes red or orange, and then the leaves invariably fall. Why do they? Here they are. They get to a point where they're just ready to just fall off with the lightest touch or the lightest wind. Why do they fall off? The reason is that because some trees have the strategy to absorb, to reabsorb the energy stored in the leaves. The leaf is a living thing, therefore it has energy inside and valuable nutrients. So many plants, deciduous plants, have developed this technique of reabsorbing the life, the energy, the nutrients, if you want to call it what you want, the nutrients inside the leaf back into the plant to reuse that when the spring comes and leave the plant during the winter and the cold months leafless. So this particular tree is going to turn leafless in a few weeks, and then it's going to spend its time like this, naked, until next spring, where from the tips of the new buds, like this one, this little tiny little bud here, we will have the emergent new leaves for the spring. Now, we all know that this is not done by all plants, all trees. We know, for example, that the Christmas tree doesn't do that, because the Christmas tree is not deciduous. It keeps its leaves throughout, and in fact what it really does is it slowly sheds a few of its leaves year-round, instead of dramatically shedding everything at one go in the fall like this one. So therefore, the Christmas tree, which is a conifer, is not a deciduous plant. It's an evergreen plant, and it keeps its leaves through the winter, so we don't have this dramatic change. And therefore, when you see coniferous forests in the winter, they're green. There is one exception, and this is why I'm here today. And that exception is spectacular. It's this one. What do we have here? We have here a tree that is, by the looks of it, a conifer, okay? It looks like it has needles, and we're going to go closer and see it. And it has the classic conifer pyramidal shape. But this tree has gone yellow. Why? Is it sick? Because normally this doesn't happen to conifers. You don't ever have a yellow Christmas tree in your living room. So we're going to go closer to take a look at this particularly beautiful tree. And we're going to see, upon closer observation, we're going to see, number one, that as the needles are turning, number one, they're needles, so we're confirming that we're indeed talking about a conifer. Number two, and I can zoom even closer. There we go. These are the needles. And what we can also see is that these needles are used to be green. They're green here, and they're turning golden. So what's the story? The story is that this particular conifer is a larch, and a larch is the conifer that sheds its needles during the winter. So what's going to happen to this beautiful, brilliant yellow tree behind me and the others are they're going to drop all their needles, and they will stay naked just like deciduous trees. It's an adaptation that this tree has taken, and you can see here the little bed of yellow needles that is accumulating around the base. It's a particular adaptation of this particular tree, and it is an exception. It's a beautiful tree. It has other particular advantages. For example, the needles are actually really soft. You know, some conifers, they have hard needles that kind of are pricky to your hands. Well, these ones are really, really soft to the touch. This tree, the larch, is a tree that dominates very, very important forests around the world. The tundra that you have heard of in Russia, as well as the vast expanses of forests that are in the very, very north of Canada, this is going into the ice, and also Scandinavia, are larch. And they have there as well this particular characteristic of turning yellow, golden, and then dropping all the needles just to push them again in the fall, in the spring, in the next spring. We're gonna walk right into it here because there's a good contrast, and you're gonna see if I shake it, there is a rain of needles falling throughout. And you're gonna see here, it even gets a nice pale salmonish color here as it gets further and further into the season. And it makes a lovely, and underneath here on the base of the trunk, we have a lovely carpet of these beautiful golden needles. Right here they are, which gather up around and presumably fertilize the soil or prohibit enemies or competitors to grow around the base of this particular tree, as is often done. Middle of the fall 2015. This is Noma Dimitri from the Larch forest. Take care.